Welcome to everybody in church. It's lovely to see you this evening. Welcome to everybody watching online as well. You join us for a very special remembrance service this evening. And we dedicate this service, of course, to all of those affected by war, past and unfortunately present. So thank you for joining us. I will just hand over to, or welcome, first of all, our speaker in church this evening, the lovely Martin Quigley. Welcome. Thank you for tackling that long journey. We really appreciate it. And also to Claire and Thor, who are online for you this evening. And a massive thank you to both of you as well, because you have stepped in for us to cover illness. So thank you very much. So we will start the service, as always, by opening in prayer. So I will hand over to Martin to do that for us, and this will be followed by the Lord's Prayer that we'll all say together. Okay, thank you, Martin.
Thank you, Donna. Good evening, all. Good evening. And evening to everyone online. If you'd like to join me in the opening prayer. Divine Spirit, Father God, as we all gather here in this fine church this evening and online, may the two worlds join together for that short space of time to prove both the existence of life after life, but most of all, everlasting love. May both sides of life gain something from this evening. Amen.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Okay, so tonight, as I light the church candle, we focus on all those dark areas within the world that are affected by war at this moment in time, and we send that love and that light to those areas. As we go into the healing part of the service. So, you're all capable of sending that lovely healing energy. Your thoughts are an energy, they can go far and wide. So just recognise the power of your thoughts. If you keep them positive, you keep them focused on healing, love and light, so they will become that for those that need it. So what I'll do is I'll start by reading the names from our church healing book, and any that are offered online now as well. I'll just go over to the starred comments. Oh, the same thing that Frank had the other day. It's not showing me them. I'll have a scroll down. Right, okay, so we'll read the names that are given here as well. Of course, we focus on all those affected by war tonight particularly, but also use that minute silence just to focus on your own loved ones. Think of them happy, healthy, doing well in your mind, and that love, that loving transfer of energy will reach them. Okay, so tonight we ask for healing to surround Melanie, Linda Weeks, Ben, John, David, Sonic the Bird, Jenny, Jennifer, Donna, Henry, Darren, Claire, Derrin, Talia, Alfie, Tanya, Linda, Anne, Lorraine, Sean, Julie, Justin, Carly, Hazel, Martin, Arthur. Hazel's two great uncles who died in the war. Gladys, Janice, Dennis, Glenn, Susan, Donna, Francis, Joan, Veronica, Colin, Terry, Peter, Lena Fowson, Linda Weeks, Alison Lay, Helen, Kelly, Annabelle and Bobby, Katie, Hayden, Alfie, Harry, Rob, Purdy and Harry, Martin, Peggy, Bobby, Denise and Mark, Steve, Chris, Gary, June, Mandy, Mick, Henry, Dee and David Hunt, Dee's mum, May, Ria, Katrina, Jack, Ellis and Cody, Jacqueline's mum, Tommy, Karen, Jeffrey, Victoria and Cats, Chloe, Borum, Joan Borum, Wendy and Paul Muley, Ivy Muley, Harley the dog, Starbucks the cat, Tinkerbell the dog, Caroline Willoughby, and all of our fallen war heroes and horses that passed during the war. Thank you, Chloe. So please join with me now in healing prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we ask that you join us this evening, both in church and online, as we send our thoughts and we connect our hearts together now to send that healing love and light to all of those people in need. Please place your love and your healing light around all of those affected by war tonight. We pray so hard for all war and conflict to end. We pray for a peace-loving world. We ask for healing to go out to all the people named in our healing book and in healing books elsewhere, for all loved ones known to us. In the name of Jesus Christ, Amen. So So just continue, just for a minute. Send that healing, those healing rays out, please. This will be broken by us singing the hymn Gracious Spirit in the front of your hymn books. Thank you. Thank you. I'll just take this opportunity now to invite you all up to light a candle of remembrance for all those that have fallen, and look to protect us and keep us safe. Thank you.
Where am I made? Your
I will invite Peter up now for our remembrance part of the service. Thank you, Peter.
Evening all. Good evening, everyone. Well, it's all happening tonight. I think the device at church has just got disconnected. I don't know if Peter might have knocked it when he arrived. And as I put into the comments earlier, we also can't see your names coming through on StreamYard. But I can see that on Facebook, so we can carry on tonight. But it's going to be a little bit trickier than normal. We'll just give the church time to see if they're able to rejoin. We'll give them a moment to see if anything's happened there. Otherwise, we may be going over to Claire and Thor a little bit earlier than we expected. So I hope you guys are ready in the wings there, and we'll see how we go. I'll just read out some names I can see on Facebook. So hello Dee, always good to have you with us. Chloe, another regular. Jacqueline, thank you for being with us tonight. As we've got Dina, Kerry, Mandy Mills, Colin, Karen, lots of regulars there I can see. Oh, and Matt, yeah, I think you come on quite often, don't you, Matt? Good to see you here tonight. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, no, that is a shame, Dee. Peter, obviously, as you know, he does the Bible reading every week. Very nice to have Peter with us, but especially on these occasions like the Remembrance Sunday. Peter's words are always very thoughtful. All right, friends. Well, I don't think the church is going to be rejoining us, unfortunately. So I will go over to Claire and Thor. Hello, Claire, and hello, Thor.
Good evening.
Good evening. Well, a little bit earlier than we expected. And I guess you've got the same problem that I have, that you can't see the names.
Fortunately, we have actually opened a phone up, so we can actually see on Facebook and we can see the names.
Oh, perfect.
So we haven't got them on screen. We have got them. So if we keep looking down, that's where we're looking.
Well, that does mean for everyone is there's going to be a slight longer delay. It's only going to be a few seconds, but there'll be a delay while it all goes through Facebook and all catches up. So everyone watching, please bear with us and bear that in mind. And if you can respond as fast as you can within the comments, that would be wonderful. So, Claire, Thor, are you happy if I hand over to you at this point and take it away?
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Rob.
Okay, thank you, Rob.
Thank you both so much. God bless.
Thank you. Okay. Good evening. Welcome to Thundersley online service. It's a pleasure to serve you, and we hope we can bring forward some good connections this evening for you. Many of us have gathered today to remember those who have lost their lives for our country and theirs. To those who we will be eternally grateful, and my address will be in no way or will no way detract from those to whom we can give thanks for our freedom and for our way of life today. My address is about remembrance, and in particular, the commonplace saying, lest we forget. But what I want to put across today, or this evening, is that this saying not only needs to apply to those we have lost in the Great Wars, but also to those in our lives, in our daily lives, and those who have passed to spirit. Very recently, I had the pleasure of attending an event, a show with the comedian Rick Hall, a very talented comedian and musician. The show was wonderful, a great night, and a good night. You know, a very good comedian. So it was much joy. But the important thing, and the second thing that I actually got from this, rather than actually just being a night of laughter, I had an immense revelation, and it was something I wanted to share with you all. Basically, the talent and humour of this individual, this gentleman, was, how do I say it? It was reminiscent of something. I watched the show. We got through the show. We got part way through the show, and Claire noticed a tear in my eye, and she asked me what this tear was. You know, what was going on? Wasn't I enjoying the show? It wasn't that case at all. It was basically a case of the talent and humour of this man, Rick Hall, reminded me of my late grandfather. A humour that was dry, sharp, clever, and to the point. The more I saw in the show, the more it reminded me of him. And beautiful memories came back of times spent with him, times of great wit, times where a sudden comment would come out of nowhere and just light up my life. Even though I was very young, it was humour that worked with all ages, and it was something that really fixed in my mind. Unfortunately, you know, it had been removed from my mind by time, but it was something that came back very quickly. And basically, you know, it was that recollection of that great man, my grandfather Cecil, that it was something I wanted to share with you this evening, because basically what we need to know is, or what we need to do, is we need to maintain our memories of those, not only that we've lost, but we also need to spend a great deal of time with those that we are with now to make more memories and enjoy those times. By doing so, it will, you know, and something I wanted to get across to you guys is, since that time, since I made that connection with Rick Hall and my grandfather and that humour, my spirit connection with him has grown stronger and stronger. And just by those memories, and that's something that we need to cherish and need to maintain and need to develop. We need to keep those memories alive. So what I'm saying to you today, and the reason why I told you that story is just to say we need to keep those memories, keep our minds on those that we love, on our loved ones that we've lost, those that are still with us and who have poor health, and members of the family. We need to spend good time with them to develop those memories, enhance those memories, and keep them in our minds, so that in future times, should we need to do so, we can make those connections both in life and once those individuals have passed. Basically, my message is simple. Cherish past and present moments, even those little moments, because it's those little moments that strengthen the connections in our lives with those who are living and those who have passed. Hopefully, we can use those memories to help make connections for you this evening. I hope that's something that you all understand and you've all had similar moments too. Thank you.
It's a lovely address, Thor. Thank you very
Thank you.
much to everybody for joining us here online this evening. We hope that you've had a lovely day of remembrance, not just, unfortunately, the fallen in past wars, but also loved ones that we may have lost. I was just thinking to myself recently, unfortunately, we are living in a time of conflict around the globe at present. and we can only ever hope that one day that there is world peace. But in the meantime, what can we actually do to help? And you may be sitting thinking, well, we're in the UK, there's not much that we can do to help unless we donate to charities such as the Red Cross, etc. But actually we can. It starts here, and it starts with us, and it starts with just giving thought to those who may be in more need than us, to give some kindness to other people, to have a little bit more patience with other people sometimes. So if we can just do those little things into our daily lives and send out healing to everybody across the globe, not just the human world, but also the animal kingdom and the plant life as well, it would make the world a much nicer place. So I'll leave you with that thought. If you have not seen Thor and I working together before, what we do is we double link with Spirit. So either Thor will get a communication or I will, and we'll start the link, and then the message develops between both of us. It gives a more rounded set of evidence and message. So we've worked together quite a long time now, so hopefully we'll get those strong messages coming through to you this evening. So without further ado, I'll get on with some clairvoyance for you. As Thor was delivering his address and talking about remembering and past loved ones, I had a gentleman come forward, and I understand that this man would be Grandad. He passed at quite an elderly age, so I want to place this man towards 90. If he didn't make 90, then it would have been around very much towards his 90th, because I feel like this man would have had like a long lifetime. He's very, very proud of his family, and he mentions grandchildren as well, so I know that he is definitely a grandfather. And in life, he would have been quite a tall gentleman. I know that this man is a veteran because he's very proud of his medals that he shows, and especially with this today being Remembrance Sunday. He's talking about the name of Frank. I'm not sure if this is his name or a name that would be around him that somebody would recognise. He's a very patient man, very polite, very well spoken, and I feel that he would have had quite a good education. So he would have not necessarily education within school or college, although that was present, but I feel an education from life. So he was one of these life's gentlemen, shall we say. He's a very warm man. As I'm looking at this gentleman, he's wearing a uniform. So he's wearing like a dark navy jacket, and he's got his medals on the left. He's also wearing a dark navy beret. Now, I'm not entirely sure what that represents. I've seen a lot of men wearing the dark navy berets. I'm not entirely sure what that represents, but hopefully somebody will know. He's talking about just remembering today, and he's proud of his family, because I feel like there's a younger person in the family that would have been involved with the Scouts or Cubs or something like that, that would have attended an event today. So he's been around, he's been present today. So you can take that. I'm just going to check my phone. So Chloe, you can understand that, and you can understand the name Frank. Okay, thank you very much for saying that. Would Frank be this gentleman's name or around this gentleman? His energy is coming through very strong. He's very upright. He's saying to me that he would have passed in, it's like a care home setting. No, that would be his son's name. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Thank you for confirming that. I feel like, as I say, his passing was in it's almost like a care home setting, because I feel that towards the end of his life, he would have spent quite a lot of time in bed. He was quite an active man in his younger years. I feel him to be very, very active. But unfortunately, he's saying that his age caught up with him, and he's not giving me a specific reason for his passing. I'm just feeling that his age was a big factor. There were several health issues going on with this gentleman. Okay. Thor, are you picking anything up?
He's telling me that he has, well, his terminology was he had a good innings. I also get a strong feeling of that this chap was involved in engineering in some way or another. I don't know whether that would have been engineering. I'm actually getting a feeling rather more than buildings, it would be more of a vehicle engineering kind of thing, or engines or something like that. Gentleman he's telling me that, as Claire said, University of Life is the terminology that he's used, but he's also actually said to me that his greatest learning was actually within the forces as well. And he gained a great deal from that and actually found out the person he really was. Just trying to think.
He's talking about somebody learning to drive at the moment. So I'm not sure if that's somebody around you or somebody like within the family. I don't feel it's outside of the family. I don't feel like it's friends. I feel like it's somebody within the family is learning to drive. But this man, he's very, as I say, I know I keep saying the word proud, but he's very proud of all of you. He's saying all of you. So I assume that there's quite a few, like it's quite a large family. Okay, I think you may have my father. He passed at 89. He was in the RAF. He passed at home, but we had hospital equipment. His great-granddaughter is in the Rainbow Brownies, and she marched today. Oh, okay, thank you so much for confirming that, Chloe. And you're
Chloe.
Oh, sorry, Diane. Dina, sorry, I've confused the names because I'm seeing them on the phone.
Chloe, apologies, Dina.
Apologies.
Claire was reading this.
I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong comments. Apologise.
Chloe's confirmed totally. My brother is thinking of learning to drive.
Okay, wonderful.
So apologies, Dina.
Okay, but Dina, if you can understand that message as well, maybe, sometimes we do get the messages come through and they can be taken by a number of people, because if you have some spirits coming forward that would have been very similar in life, then the message is for a few people. So I'm glad that you can take that information as well. Oh, and you know Chloe as well. Oh, okay, isn't that wonderful? Okay. So thank you very much for confirming that information. He's coming forward just to say thank you very much to the family for doing. Now, did somebody raise money in his memory? Because I'm feeling there was money raised in his memory, or there's a charity thing had been done for him. It's very important that I mention that, because he's very proud of that fact. And he's very proud as well that you all talk about him still, and that he's not just been forgotten about. He was such a kind man, and he would have helped anybody, you know that, but he would have helped anybody. And I feel like you've been raised with the same morals as well, and you're a kind person. It's important that I mention that as well, because sometimes we don't realise how kind we are to others. So it's important that I say that. He just wants to give his love. And he's shown me a yellow daffodil as well. So I don't know if you understand the importance of that, but he's talking about springtime and springing forward. So I'm not sure of the relevance for that, but hopefully you would understand that. But he's talking about something important coming up in spring. So I want to say around March, April, there's something important there, something to be celebrating. So it's something to look forward to. So do you have anything
something he's saying to me, Chloe? You say your brother is thinking of learning to drive. Something that he's basically saying to me is that make sure that he learns how to maintain the vehicle and look after it well. That's just something. I think it's something from his own life, if you like, that he would like to actually pass on, and he would have liked to have actually been there to actually have gone through the car with him and actually shown him what he needs to do. So I think that's
okay. We leave his love with you, and thank you very much for working with us, and also to Dina as well for understanding the message as well. Thank you.
Thank you both.
Okay. I do have a lady coming forward.
Okay.
So I have a lady coming forward, and I feel that this lady would have passed underneath the age of, she's telling me 55. And I feel that this lady, she passed too young, and it was a cancer illness that took her over. And when I'm talking about the cancer, I'm being drawn to the chest area with her. I feel this lady, I feel that she's a mum, and she would have been a very caring lady. So I'm not sure if her job would have been nursing or caring of some description, because I feel with her that I want to give a uniform of some description, and I'm being drawn to like a nursing uniform with her. She tells me that her illness was around 6 months. It wasn't long, and it's even still now. She's been passed, I want to say, around about 2 years, because I don't feel it's recent, but I don't feel it's too far in going backwards either. And she's still very much missed today. So hopefully somebody can understand this, because this lady's come forward with a lot of love for her family. So
this lady loved her flowers. And what I'm actually getting is not only flowers in a vase, but I'm also seeing very basic flowers painted on a wall. So I don't know whether that resonates with anybody, but it's literally different coloured flowers painted on a wall. And I think this is, rather than something this lady would have done, I think this is actually almost like a link with someone to actually say, I'm watching you, I've seen this. Does this resonate with anybody? Because this lady's very keen to come through. I
want to give the name Denise around this lady. I know that's that's quite, I'd say that's not a common name, Denise. It's not a name that I've heard. I've known several Denises in my life, but it's not a real common name like, say, Sarah, Emma. But she's talking about Denise. And she's talking about a love of cups of tea as well. So she's saying, I wasn't much of a coffee person. I was very much into my cups of tea. Okay. Denise is her friend. Oh, okay. I'm just going to look down at my phone just so I can see your name. Kerry Mack. Thank you for coming forward. So it sounds like your friend. Okay, so you can understand some of the information. And would you understand the passing condition as well? Because it was very sad. It feels like to me that there was still so many things that she wanted to do and so many things that other people wanted to do with her as well. And it feels almost like you've been robbed of that time. And it feels there's a sadness with this, because I think, you always expected her to be there. She's talking about going back to the 80s with you. So have you been friends for a long time? Because I feel like you two, she's making me laugh now because she's coming across saying, remember all the laughter and the good times that we had together? Yes, within 4 months of diagnosis. Okay. I'm so sorry to hear that. It's so tragic when we lose somebody and it feels like they're too young to pass. Nobody, age it's not important. It's such a tragic thing. So I'm sorry to hear that. But and it still feels very much a shock. Now, do you have a blanket of hers? Because she's talking about a love of having blankets, and I feel like I want to wrap this lady up in like fluffy blankets. Oh God, we did looking at our old photo on Friday. Oh, well, she's saying to me to remember the good times. It's very easy to be sad about her passing. But she's saying, don't you worry, I'm still very much alive here. I've not gone anywhere. I've just literally stepped into the next room. And that's how she wants you to remember her, that she's not far away, because she really isn't. She's also talking about sending down little robins. I know that's quite a common thing that people see. And have you had feathers as well? Because she's talking about, I'm trying to send signs for you. And the little robins, if you haven't seen them as yet, they are coming, because it's very prominent that she's talking about that.
She's also saying that she's very, her caring never stopped. Even though she's passed, her caring has never stopped, and she is there with you at all times. If you ever find a time where it's actually quite difficult, she's saying just ask out for her, because you will actually feel her. She just wants to be there for you, and she's also very grateful for the caring and the thoughts that people still give to her. She's literally asking just ask for her, and she'll be there.
I'm seeing sunflowers with this lady as well, and it's almost like a time of to look at the brightness rather than focus on the darker times. It's almost like she wants to bring the sunshine to your life. And she's talking about somebody having curly hair as well. So I'm not sure if this was her. I must be honest, when I'm looking at this lady, I'm seeing her with straight hair, but she's talking about somebody having, and it's almost like a corkscrew perm. So I don't know if she's very jolly, very funny lady, but she's talking about somebody having a perm that didn't quite go to plan. So hopefully you can understand that. But she's talking about corkscrew hair. So hopefully that will make sense. She has a lot of love for you, and she's very grateful for your friendship. She loved, I'm just going to read your comment. Okay, so she loved flowers so much, and I had special ones done for her funeral. She had a perm like that a long time ago. Okay, she's just bringing that in as a memory link for you, just the real curly hair with her. She's talking about things that you've been doing recently. Okay, so she's talking about you going to the hairdressers as well, and she's also talking about somebody who loves lakeside. So I don't know if that's yourself, but I feel like there's somebody, and I want to say there's a younger person as well that loves going to lakeside. And it feels like for some reason she's taking me there. So I don't know if that's something that you did together. As I say, but I do see a younger person wanting to go to lakeside. I hope this all makes sense for you. Her energy is very, very quick. And I feel like she would have spoken like this in her life. She would have been very quick, very funny, very energetic, because I don't feel like she's kind of slow and thinking about what she's saying. Oh, she loved shopping, possibly her son. Okay, please let everybody know that she's absolutely fine, okay, because it's important. She's absolutely fine. She's looking down on everybody, and Christmas is coming, and there's people, I think maybe her son, but there's people that are not looking forward to Christmas. because she would have loved Christmas, and it's just never going to be the same without her. But know that she is there with her presence. Okay, and she's asking me to give, the roses, which are peach colour, so they're very kind of like pink and orange. She wants to give one of those. Do you have anything to add?
I think I need to say that what she's saying to me is that with regard to, and it sort of continues with regard to the feeding thing there, really, is that she is there at all times. She will be there at all times. She says she will be watching you. And you say about Christmas, she will be watching at Christmas time. And what she's referring to a new member of the family. I don't know whether there's a new baby in the family or there is a new baby coming. But what she's actually referring to me, she's actually, you say about the perm, she feels there's going to be a recurrence of that event. And when I say that event, it is going to be a case of, rather than actually be a maid perm, if you like, being a gentleman, I wouldn't know about these things. It would, but more like a child with very, very naturally curly hair. And you can see this hair very, very strong. So I think that's where that reference was coming through. Just to say, this lady is extremely loving, extremely warm, very fast thinking, very fast witted, but very, very patient. And she says she will still be very patient with you.
Oh,
but carry on speaking to her.
She had a 3-year-old grandson when she passed. Okay.
Right, okay.
One last thing that she wants to give before she goes is a massive bar of Cadbury dairy milk. So I hope that makes sense for you. It's not fruit and nut. It's not anything else like that. It's just plain dairy milk. So she's saying that up in heaven she can still have her chocolate. So I hope that makes sense. And thank you very much for taking that message and working with us.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. I have a gentleman who came through to me earlier today. The gentleman's name is Charlie. It is Charles, but he likes to be called Charlie. Very, very nice gentleman. Very laid back, very easygoing. He gave me another couple of names, Colin and Christian as well. And they resonate very closely with him. I feel this gentleman was a friend rather than a family member. And he's come through very much to assist somebody or to bring a message through to somebody. He's not a great, or he hasn't had a great understanding or belief in coming through as spirit when he was alive, but he's really reveling in the matter that he's made communication with me now, and he's quite excitable about it. But his main message to me, and he's asked me to get this message through. I know it's very early, but he's actually asked me to get this message through very straight away, and that is that someone or the person he's bringing this message through for is really not looking forward to Christmas. And the reason they're not looking forward to Christmas is there's been a loss in the family, a loss of a grandmother. And basically what he's saying to me is that he's hearing this recurring comment, it's not going to be the same without her. It's not going to be the same without her this Christmas. Now, what he's saying to me is that he actually received this lady in spirit. He was very close to this lady in spirit in his time when he was alive. And he has basically, he wants to get that message through to say, she's going to be there with you as well. It's she's going to be there with you and enjoying it. And basically, she will enjoy everything, but you need to enjoy it too. And you need to almost take on Christmas as if she were there, and actually talk to her, and almost I'd almost go as far as saying setting a placemat for her. This is what she's saying to me. She wants you to know she's going to be there. She's going to be amongst you, and she's going to be enjoying Christmas the way she always did. Have you got any connection with this lady?
Yeah, I feel like this lady, she would have been, she's saying, at times I could be a pain. And she means that in the nicest possible way. She's a very fun lady, and I see her with dogs as well. I see a couple of dogs following her around. So I feel that these dogs would have been at her heels quite a lot. She's quite an independent lady as well. She liked to do things for herself. And she didn't like people fussing too much around her. As I say, I feel like she liked to chat. She was a chatter. So hopefully somebody can understand this information. As I say, there's a lot of people missing this lady. And she didn't realise how well loved she was when she was here on earth. She just got on with life. She was one of life's doers, and she just got on with it. And she didn't think too much about the bigger picture so much. Okay. Mo, you can understand this. Okay. She was, as I'm seeing her in my mind's eye, she's a curvy lady. She's quite short, so I'm seeing her quite short.
Yes.
But I feel like she moved a lot around.
Lively.
And I'm seeing her, so it's almost like I'm seeing her at home, and it's like a long hallway. And I feel like she would have been up and down this hallway quite a lot. So it's funny how spirits show themselves and what we see as clairvoyants. But I hope that you can understand that. But I just see her like up and down, and I see these little dogs following her, looking for treats. As I say, she's very much missed. Yes, you can understand the long hallway. Okay, that's great. And I feel like she had a lot of boxes as well, because as I'm seeing her in my mind's eye, she's moving things from one area to another. So she was quite into organising. Okay, never had dogs in the house. Okay, that's interesting. But I'm seeing, for some reason, I don't know why, but I'm seeing dogs with her. So I'm not sure what that connection is. But she showed me they're almost like Dachshund type dogs because they're quite small. But if you can't understand the dogs, then maybe she's got dogs now. Well, I'm not sure if she was a dog lover in life. You had dogs outside. Okay, you understand that. But would they have followed her around a lot? Because I just feel like she's moving from one place to another, doing things. And I feel like these dogs are just kind of following on behind. She's a very loving lady, as I say. And I still feel Corgi's the queen. Okay. Maybe was she you had a farm. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, because when I said that she was a busy lady, I just felt that she would have been moving around a lot, up and down. She's very much you take me as you find me, and I mean this in the politest of ways, but sometimes her language could be favourable. Shall we say that? That's a polite way of saying that, isn't it? So not all the time. She wasn't one for swearing constantly. I wouldn't say that about her. But if she was having a bad day, sometimes a few words would come out. And yeah, she could be very direct. That's the feeling I'm getting with her. But as I say, I feel that she was very much a doer in life. She would, if there was something that needed to be fixed or dealt with or done, she would just get on and do it. There was none of this thinking about it for a couple of days and deciding what to do next. She would just get on with it.
Nothing was too much. She'd straight in there, wouldn't she?
She never swore. Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. I apologise. I've got that wrong. I just feel with her energy, it's almost quite a surprise for her to be on the other side. I don't feel that her passing was sudden. I feel, as I say, you said it was. What did you feel with the passing? It was quite.
The passing was quite quick, quite honestly.
Okay.
But I do feel it was a condition that was long-standing, and that long-standing condition was gradually worsening. I think, I don't know the connection with Colin, but I think Colin was the was the one with the language.
Okay, so Mo is saying that the passing was very quick, a heart condition. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you're asking if it is her mother too. It could well be. It could be that we've got the two different people coming in here. As I say, I just feel, would there be links to Norfolk with this family, with your this lady as well? Because I feel like they're not necessarily from this area originally. I want to go back a few generations with this though, because I feel like they moved from somewhere to like around this area. I'm not sure what I'm getting with that, but I just feel like it was they were from further out and then moved. There was like a big move at one stage, and I'm going back. You're talking about going to Norfolk at the moment. Okay, maybe that's what they're trying to pass on. yeah, it's just that connection with Norfolk. So as I say, hopefully you can understand that part of it. They're talking about making things as well. Oh, Ireland to the UK. Okay, so they're coming over from Ireland. Okay, because they're talking about making breads and things like this. So would that make sense to you as well? Because I say, I feel like it was very much kind of a family who got on with life and was self-sufficient. I know you mentioned that there was a farm, but I just feel it was that sort of Sandringham is in Norfolk. Okay. Okay, thank you. Bread and cakes. Yeah, because I just feel like, and I don't know if that's something that you've carried on, but I just feel like this lady is prominent. She wants to make reference to the baking, and they were very self-sufficient. Okay, thank you for confirming
Nothing
that.
was too much, basically. If something needed doing, she was quite happy putting her hand to it. She didn't need to get someone else to do it.
She's talking about as well jewelry coming down the family. So I'm not sure if that sits with you or with somebody else, but I want to say it's almost like a silver jewelry and there's rubies set in it, and it's very prominent that I mentioned that. So hopefully that makes sense to you as well. But and there's talk of somebody having a charm bracelet, you know, like with the old-fashioned charms on it, so you can understand the jewelry and vegetables, cow's milk in the fridge. Okay, thank you. I feel like I need to say to you that you're very much of the same, you have the same morals, you're quite self-sufficient yourself. But what she's saying to me to say is sometimes we have to allow other people to come in as well. It's always, when we're quite independent and self-sufficient, it's lovely, but sometimes we need to kind of lower the barriers a little bit and just let other people come in and help us. Don't ever be afraid to ask for help if you need it. So I'm not sure if you have something going on at the moment that you would benefit from talking to people about. But just it's almost like a reminder not just to hold everything and deal with it yourself. Sometimes when you get outside perspective, it gives you like the bigger picture. So I hope that resonates. And she's talking as well about the forget-me-not flower. Okay, so that when I see the forget-me-not flower, two things. It always talks about dementia, but it's also a flower saying, please don't forget about me. And I don't think that you ever could with this lady. I don't think she would let you. Okay, so you need to get therapy about the situation.
What she's saying to me, you say about people don't offer to help. Don't be afraid to ask. This is what she's actually saying to me. I almost get the feeling that self-sufficiency within the family is what is actually coming through with yourself. And although she would have been very almost stubborn and actually said, no, I'll do this myself. She says there is times that you actually need to sit back and actually ask others. Others won't offer, but actually make that inquiry and actually speak to someone who can help when you need it. So
that makes sense for you.
Yes.
And thank you for working with us. She has a lot of love. She wasn't always the most loving person here when she was here, just because she had that brick wall around her where it was very much make do amend and get up to be, you know, stubborn and independent and self-sufficient.
You can feel how stubborn she can be, yeah.
But there is still that love there, and that you must never forget that. Okay, and she's around. Okay, so just embrace her presence, and she will guide you to the right people to ask for help. Okay, so and I hope that you are able to talk to somebody.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I have a younger gentleman coming forward. Okay, this man is quite stubborn. That's the only way I can think to put this. Okay, he passed, I want to say, around the age of 29, 30. And that's quite specific, but this is the age that he's shown to me. And I feel that his passing would have been very sudden, very unexpected. I feel with him, it's almost like he left home and he didn't come back again. There was an accident of some description. He's very much keen to impress that he's very much alive and fine on the other side of life. He's still listening to his music. He's still as stubborn as he ever was. He loved his partying, shall we say. He loved being out and about and partying. You can understand this. Okay. Is your name, did you say Matt? So this is coming up as MJC Chambo Landscape. Okay. Would you understand this to be a friend or brother? Because I feel like first I went to say friend, but then I wanted to say brother. So it's almost like you had that close connection where if you weren't brothers.
Trina can take this as well.
Oh, okay. And Trina Wells, you can
Okay.
understand this. Okay. Everybody listen to the message, because so the evidence that I'm about to give, it will kind of work down the list of people. Okay. So I feel like this man, I'm seeing this to be a motorcycle accident. Okay. So I feel like he would have left home and an accident happened, and that was it. There wasn't, that was that. His passing was very, very unexpected. He's a very lively man. He's very much, he passed on a motorcycle. Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. He's just shown me himself very much in like black leathers. So I feel like he would have been into,
As well.
okay, so there's a few of you that can understand this information. Okay, let me try and get some more evidence. Okay, so the motorbike that I am seeing this gentleman sadly passing on, I'm seeing 3 colours with this. Okay, black, white and red. So I'm not sure if somebody can understand that, the black, white and red. Okay, and this is your brother Mo. Okay.
Something I would like to say, the reason why he's mentioned about being as stubborn as he is because it's being stubborn the way he was that actually led to his to what happened, and the reason why he never come home.
Okay.
My understanding from him is that he didn't feel too great in himself at the time. He didn't feel comfortable, but he went anyway. And this is the reason why you were saying about the stubbornness has come through.
Okay.
Very much.
I feel with him. So did somebody mention that he had gone to work and he was on his way home from work? Okay.
Yes.
And somebody else is saying that he was 29 when he passed. Okay. This is my surrogate. Okay. Okay. So some of you can understand this. Okay. So I'm very specific about the motorcycle. Okay. So it's definitely black, red, and white. These are the 3 colours, and he keeps showing these colours to me. He had all the correct equipment on. There was no question about that. He had the crash helmet on. He had the leathers, the jacket, everything. He'd done everything that he was supposed to do. As Thor said, when he left work, I feel like he would have had like a migraine or something like that come in, and he didn't feel very well, but he thought to himself that he would get home anyway. It would be fine. Everything would be fine. There's nothing that could be done that would have changed the outcome of what happened. I think, it's very easy to think if he'd have not ridden the motorcycle home, if he'd have got a lift home, if he had left later, if he'd have left earlier. But he's saying, please don't dwell on that, because there's nothing that could have changed that outcome, sadly. He's very lively. He's very, his energy is very, very young. He's talking about loving bands, like he's talking about Oasis. And the song Wonderwall, he's talking about that. He's talking about having a love of Kit Kats. His energy is very kind of very quick, and it's almost like he's chucking information. So he's talking about the love of Kit Kats. He loved his family. He was very much a family person, and he just loved spending time with you all. He's showing to me April. Okay, so I'm being drawn to April, and I want to say around, I'm being drawn to like between the 11th and 14th of April. So I'm not sure if this is sadly in relation to his the time when he passed, or if it's somebody's birthday, but I want to go to April with this gentleman. He has a real thirst for life. And he's saying that I know that tears are still shed for me. Okay, so his birthday's in April. Okay, thank you. The tears are still shed for me because it still feels very raw and very, very unfair. But know that he's absolutely fine and he's around you. And, that he loved the fact that people still talk about him and people still come together. And he's talking about somebody drinking, like it's like a can of, I don't know if it's like Carling or something. This is what I'm being shown. It's like a can of Carling lager. So I don't know if the name Carl is relevant with him as well, or he's trying to just show me that a can of Carling lager, but this is what I'm being shown. And I'm seeing friends of his still meet now to have a drink for him in his memory. So I hope that evidence, I hope that is making sense for somebody. Yes, Carl. Okay. Okay. Okay, great. So you can understand all of that information. Okay. He's saying when you're sad and missing him and wishing that things could have been different, feel his presence, feel him stroking your cheek, because he's there and he's there with you when you feel like this. He's shown me yellow roses being important. So I'm not sure if it's something to do with the yellow. Are you getting anything with this man? Because his energy is very strong.
He's extremely strong energy. I'm getting frustration from frustration towards himself.
It's like he can't get the information through to us quick enough.
The message he's given me for you is literally that trust your intuition. He had feelings that night that he shouldn't have actually done what he done and actually left when he did. But as Claire said, he knows things wouldn't have actually changed. Things couldn't have actually changed on that night. But he still feels very much that he should have followed his intuition and actually taken some alternative route or method. And he's saying that there are times when you actually feel that you should be doing something. And basically, if you feel strongly about something, if there's a strong feeling there, trust it and work with it. Be patient with yourself. But if there's a feeling there that you shouldn't be doing something, then step back, take that opportunity to actually step back, learn from it, and take an alternative route. Okay.
Yeah, he's very much.
I said that at the same time as it came through.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
His energy is just. He's talking about Rob as well. Somebody by the name of Rob. He's saying, please say hi to Rob. And he's talking about somebody having. It's like what I'm being shown. It's like angel wings in hanging from a car mirror. So I know that sounds very specific, but this is what I'm being shown with him. He's saying, I want the person to know that I've seen the little angel wings. And you can understand Rob as well, mate. Okay, thank you. He's talking about as well somebody decorating a Christmas tree, and they're keen to get the tree up already. And he's talking about he's talking about memorial things being put onto this tree in his memory, and he's saying he loves that, and he loves the lights on the tree as well. He would have loved Christmas. Okay, so there's a few people still saying you can take this information. Okay, so it could be that we've got a couple of different bits coming through here, but so yeah, thank you very much. Okay, you've got wings over the bed. Okay, he just wants you to know he's very much around, and he's very much fine up there, and he's mentioning a lady that he's with as well, an older lady. So I feel like this lady would be I feel like I want to say like grandmother to him, like his grandmother, but it's not the lady that we had earlier. So it's not the lady that was saying she was very stubborn. But he, as I say, he has got a stubborn streak, but he's saying, for all my faults, I tried my best, and he just wants to make sure that you all know that he's around and that the love is very much still there with him.
Yes.
Okay, and with that, I'll leave his love with you. Okay, thank you for working with us.
Thank you.
Okay. Are you getting anyone coming through?
Getting a gentleman. Gentleman, I would say he's in his 50s. He's dressed very much as I would expect someone to be dressed in the early 80s. He has a grey jumper, trousers on, very smartly dressed. And this gentleman, I feel he would have actually passed in his mid 50s. Once again, I do believe it was either a heart or lung condition. He's actually corrected me. He's actually advised me that it was his lungs that actually. Okay, he's told me that his lungs were what failed, but it was his heart. So he's a little bit unsure. He's almost dual confirming with this one. It was quite interesting. It's. He says it was his time. Very, very, very gentle individual, gentle man, and I believe he feels it wasn't his time as well. Very, 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 very loving feeling, loving man. Could you feel this guy at all? He's slightly receding, almost the same as myself, but actually comes round from the back to the front rather than the front to the back. He loved his radio. He loved his newspaper, and he spent a great deal of time in an armchair, but through choice.
I feel like with him, he loved his football. My granddad's passed. Okay, maybe this is for you, Trina.
Yes.
Thank you for giving that information. I feel like he would have loved his football, and I feel like he spent
Spot the
time.
ball.
I feel like he spent time standing up with his job. So I feel not like I'm not saying this is a factory, but I feel like I don't know if he worked in like a mail room or something to do with that. But I just feel like he would have worn like a shirt, but he wouldn't have.
There you go.
Okay. Okay. So
We've got good.
Rebecca, you're saying that your granddad had emphysema, bad lungs. He passed for heart attack, passed very suddenly.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a few of you that can take this information as well. He watched his football every Saturday and did the pools. Okay, maybe this message is for you, but everybody listen, because sometimes there's always a message within the message. Sometimes we have a spirit come through and somebody can claim the evidence, but it's quite
the
similar.
name Lionel is very prominent here, so I don't know whether that would sort of narrow things down at all.
Okay. Okay, you're out of this. Okay, no problem at all. Okay, thank you, Trina.
That is appreciated.
Okay, so I feel like this man, so for his job, as I say, I don't know if it's like a mailroom or something like that he worked at, but he was very proud of his work, and I feel like he would have spent a lot of time standing up. So I wouldn't say that he was sat at a desk for his job. I feel like I want to say that he was upright, moving around from place to place, and I feel like he would have done a lot of walking around for his job as well. He's a miner. Okay. Okay. I saw him just upright, moving around. I feel with him, his energy is very much strong as well. He's saying that he passed away before his time, and it was a shock for him as well, let alone everybody else. And I feel like so your granddad obviously passed quite a long time ago, and I feel like there is a lady with him as well. Now the lady, she's not saying very much, so I feel like out of the two of them, he was the more talkative one until she got to know you. She's a curvy lady, but she's very well dressed, this lady. So I feel like she would have been quite, she would have made quite an effort with her clothing and her makeup and her hair. And I'm seeing her hair as quite like, like the how the Queen had her hair, but not that colour. So I'm talking about she would have taken a lot of pride in her hair.
My feeling I get is that both of these guys, the gentleman and the lady, it's almost like they've dressed for church.
Yes.
That's very much
exactly
almost as if they've dressed to present themselves today.
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe if you can understand that, would they have attended church together? And he's saying that after he stopped working, he would deliver papers and shopping to all the family and neighbours. Okay. I feel like with the lady as well, she's a little bit shy almost. So it's almost like he's doing the talking for both of them, and she's just sort of standing in the background. But I want to give this lady like a D name, so I want to say something like Daphne or something D with this lady. They're a very lovely couple, but they're telling me that it wasn't always like that. So I feel like sometimes they occasionally would have a crossword. They're fine now. They're very happy together now. But occasionally they would have a crossword, and he would sit in one room and she would be in the kitchen doing something, and they just wouldn't talk for a little while. Shall we say that?
He was a very organised man, and I think this is the reason why, almost between the two, she was quite organised, but he liked everything to be just so. So although he was very, very polite with it, very, very gentle with it, he would almost expect things to be A, B, C. Whereas every now and again, she might go A, C, D. And it would just slightly, there'd be a few words said, and then everything would be corrected.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Let's say they're a very smart couple, and they always tried their best to look very presentable to everybody. And I just feel like you're like that too. Okay, I just feel like they want to come forward because they just want to kind of remind you that they are around and they are fine, and they're very much together. And what they had together, although as I say, sometimes there was a little crossword, but it was always sorted out before bed. They're very much the type of couple that if there was a disagreement, one person would just give in, and they're saying the modern way is a little bit different. We like to stand our ground and argue our point, and that brings me to say, I don't know if you have children yourself, but I'm seeing a younger child around here on the earth, not in spirit, who's quite defiant. So I feel like this little one, I'm not seeing if it's a boy or a girl at the moment, but I just feel like there's a child around, and this little one likes to get their own way sometimes, and and he's quite a lively little one. So I don't know if that is with you or someone with it, like a child within the family, but I'm talking about no older than around 6 or 7, because they're calling this little one a little cheeky monkey. So hopefully you can understand that. They're laughing about it, but they just want to mention that as well. They're very happy. They're very, very well. The lady, she's talking about doing Avon as well. Okay. So I feel like she would have been into even not just wearing the Avon, but actually delivering the Avon as well. Okay. So it sounds like your niece, she's a little bit sassy. Okay.
Back to the ABC, she'd be CB.
Okay. Oh, so yourself and your mum used to do the Avon, so you can understand the connection with the Avon. Okay. Because I'm smelling that lovely. I used to love the Avon stuff. I don't know. There's nobody around near me that does Avon. If you know of anybody, send them to Basildon, please, because I used to love all the talcum powders and everything, and all the Avon So Soft and everything like that. So she's making me smell all those lovely smells. But very loving family. As I say, sometimes it was a little bit difficult. You have a mother-in-law, Daphne. He was a butcher mother-in-law, loved Avon. I used to seek it. Okay, Judy, you can understand his message as well. Avon are online. I need to get online with the Avon. Thank you very much for letting me know about that. I'm going to be all over that. I'll be driving forward with all my perfumes and everything, and all the lovely products. Okay, but and you still use the Skin So Soft. Oh, I need to get onto Avon online. Okay. He's just shown me Werther's Originals out of nowhere. Werther's Originals and Mint Humbugs. So I just feel like I need to remind you of them. It's like a memory link. And also talking about going to a beach, but I don't feel like it's Southend. I want to go somewhere else with this.
That would have been a proper journey as well.
I feel like I want to say Clacton. I want to say Clacton because I feel like or Margate, somewhere you would have had to have driven to get there. Yeah. It's definitely not Southend, because I feel like there's a long journey in the car, and it felt like you were going on a real holiday to get to this place. Okay, you can understand this. Brilliant. Okay, and he loved his Werthers. Okay. They're a lovely couple, and they just want to come through with that love, and they're just saying, we're not here on the earth plane, but we are here in spirit, and we are really around you.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Right, okay.
It was a nightmare of a holiday.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Maybe not a lovely memory link for Clacton, but just as long as you can understand that information, it makes sense for you. Yeah. Okay. They're very much happy and around you, and they just want to leave their love with you, and just as a reminder, really, that they're around and they're with you, and glad to see that you're all well.
Basically, as a final, just to add into that, his message is be patient. From what he's saying to me, it's almost there's a situation on at the moment, and you're getting quite frustrated with it, but he's actually saying step back, sit back, let it happen. It will go the way you would like it to, but he's just saying just to sit back and let that happen. Don't get frustrated about it.
Okay. Unfortunately, we are nearly out of time, but one last thing they just want to add in is I feel they're making me laugh, because this is a memory link for myself as well. I love candles, and my house is cluttered with candles, and unfortunately Thor is making me go through the ones that I don't use and give them away. But he's talking about Yankee candles and just lighting Yankee candles at Christmas. So I don't know if you keep candles for a special occasion, but they're just saying light the lovely Yankee candles when you can for Christmas. Okay, so we're going to hand over now for Frank and his animal cards. Thank you very much for joining us all today.
Thank you very much
for
joining us this evening. It's much appreciated.
Thank you.
Oh, bless you both. And you did an excellent job without the names on there, but looking at the phone. Thank you so much for persevering. We have got Frank's cards. We'll come back for a closing prayer after that, if it's all right.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. All right, friends. Well, we got there in the end, and we managed to carry on, which is great, and definitely in the spirit of today. So let's go over to Frank's animal cards, because we can't get round to everyone, unfortunately, in the evening. So that's why Frank draws 3 of his animal cards each week, and that gives us an uplifting thought for the week ahead. So let's have a look and see what Frank has for us this week.
Good evening. Our first crystal this evening is the rose quartz. With that goes the card for the goose. This card is about loyalty and faithfulness to others, care and devotion of others, the importance of communication. It says at times your view of a situation or another person may be coloured by your past experiences. Sometimes geese pop up to make you aware that your recollection of something that happened in the past may have been exaggerated and appeared far better or maybe far worse than it really was. Old memories might be brought up so that they can be healed, or possibly long forgotten dreams from childhood are ready to be reborn. This card can also indicate that someone from your past is coming back into your life now. Geese are extremely honourable birds. In fact, they will never abandon one of their own. If a wounded goose can't fly with the others, at least one will stay behind until that goose has recovered or passed on. Similarly, geese are devoted to their life mates and their young, and just like our little family on the card. Because they lay so many eggs, they're a sign of fertility as well. The old story of Mother Goose makes this bird the perfect symbol for children and child caring and childhood in general. Many of the beliefs and perceptions that we carry with us are established during our childhood. So take a moment to consider how the past is related to your current situation. And our second crystal is the amethyst. And with that goes the card for the otter. This card is about happiness, fun in life, contentment, family and life's events. Life may have been pretty busy of late, but now it's time to kick back, relax and be grateful for all that you have. Otters symbolise joy and satisfaction, which may come from success in your career, the completion of a project, or a very happy home life. In fact, otters can represent big changes on the family front, such as marriage, births, or the acquisition of a new home. All in all, it says life is good now and is fun. Otters are endlessly curious, always looking to play. They love nothing more than to romp around and enjoy a good time. So much so that a group of otters is often referred to as a romp. They mate for life and often sleep or rest holding hands whilst floating downstream together so that they won't drift away from each other. They're also devoted to their pups and teach them the ideals and playfulness and a healthy curiosity about the world. When the otter shows up in your life, it is asking you to bring fun and eagerness to learn into your life and to all the things that you are doing right now. And our third crystal is the citrine, And with that goes the card for the miniature poodle. This card is about being the best at what you do, having a lucrative career in a creative field, and doing what you love. The very best careers involve following your passions, becoming the very best and the most passionate in your field. If you do so, you will be rewarded beyond your wildest dreams. The miniature poodle urges you to listen to your heart when it comes to choosing your life purpose. Often this card refers to the creative arts, so allow your gifts to surface and shine forth in the world. You have dazzling talent. Unleash it, and great abundance will come to you. Miniature poodles also refer to working as a team. The Kennel Club lists the top 3 attributes of poodles as active, proud and smart. These words of praise are borne out by their history of winning blue ribbons and best of show awards. Poodles are able to adapt to whatever scenario is thrown at them on the way. They're creative and talented performers. However, they also don't win their ribbons on their own. Their success is a collaborative effort with their trainer. So they encourage you too to work with others towards a mutual fulfillment of your dreams. 3 very good cards there tonight, and quite a lot about family life and working together and caring for others. Thank you for listening to me.
Lovely. Thank you, Frank. All right, friends, let's bring tonight's remembrance service to a close. We'll go back to Claire and Thor for a closing prayer, and then I'll play out the closing Vesper as usual. Thank you both.
Thank you. Lovely messages there from Frank. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. If you'd like to close your eyes and take a moment for a closing prayer, please. Divine Spirit, we thank you for stepping forward here this evening, for filling the veil, joining the 2 worlds, allowing Thor and I to bring forward messages of love, hope and comfort to those who needed to hear them. We ask that you send out healing and protection across the globe, not just to those here present, but to our wider families, friends, loved ones and animals, and also out to the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom and anybody in need of healing. We ask that this is done for the greater good and with love and light. Amen.
Well, big thank you to Claire and Thor for taking tonight's service. Lovely address earlier as well. and of course all those wonderful messages. Fantastic evening with you both. So thank you so much. Thank you to our medium in church as well. That was Martin Quigley tonight. Martin's a regular online with us, as you guys know, but he was in church tonight, so I hope you had a good evening there, Martin. Thank you to Donna for chairing in church tonight. Thank you to Peter for the readings that were in church. And thank you to Frank for the cards at the end, as usual. Thank you all for joining us tonight and watching along. I hope you have a great week ahead, and I hope you can join us next Sunday at 6:30 again. But until then, take care. Good night.